And welcome to the Bright Side, friends. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. Our number today and every day on the Bright Side, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. We love hearing from you. If you have questions, comments, success stories you'd like to share, we can help you deal with a health challenge. If you or a loved one is dealing with a health issue you need help with, 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about supplementation or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number on the Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Or if you want to start a home-based business, click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470 for more information. Our number today, 844-236-6010. We'll get to your calls in our next segment. We'll be speaking with Dr. Jorge Osorio. At the bottom of the hour, Dr. Osorio is a professor of veterinary medicine at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and he is the developer of something called the V-Shield face mask, which is an antiviral face mask. I'm not a big believer in face masks, as you guys know, but this is a very interesting product that I thought would make for a good conversation. It actually is coated with lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is one of the hidden gems of immune-boosting supplements. Lactoferrin is found in whey protein. It's found in dairy, actually. It's produced by mother mammals, to help support the immune system of the baby. As you guys probably know, when baby mammals are born, their immune systems are born in an undeveloped state, and one of the ways that nature creates strong and robust immunity in babies is by delivering immune-boosting substances in dairy, in milk, in mammary milk, breast milk. And it turns out that milk contains wonderful immune-boosting compounds, one of which is called lactoferrin, Lactoferrin. Lactoferrin, lacto meaning milk, ferrin meaning iron, is an iron-binding protein. And by binding iron, lactoferrin deprives microbes of what they need to live. Thus, it makes lactoferrin a very powerful antimicrobial. Doesn't necessarily build the baby's immune system as much as it supports the baby's immune system. And lactoferrin can be used as a supplement. Lactoferrin can be used as an immune-boosting supplement. In fact, rumor has it that when Donald Trump got COVID, his doctors gave him lactoferrin to help strengthen his immune system. And you can buy lactoferrin straight at a health food store or on the internet for immune boosting. Or you can get lactoferrin in whey protein. You can just use your whey protein. I've been fascinated with this molecule, lactoferrin, since I first started studying whey protein back in the 1990s. I remember delivering whey protein supplements to gyms in the Boulder and Denver area back when I was in my 30s. And I knew whey protein was a powerful immune booster, and it indeed has lots of immune-boosting substances in it, including glutathione and the amino acid glutamine. It also has lactoferrin in it, and Dr. Jorge Osorio has come up with a way of treating masks with lactoferrin, creating what he calls the V-mask, an antiviral face mask, which I thought was kind of interesting. So we'll have Dr. Osorio on at the bottom of the hour. We'll get to your calls here in our next segment, 844-236-6010. All right, so I want to continue talking about the importance of food enzymes as a support system for our body's natural enzymes. That's the take-home message. We've been spending a lot of time talking about digestive enzymes, and the real point that I want to get across is digestive enzymes are important for more than just the digestive system. According to Dr. Howell, there's a relationship between our biochemical enzymes, our metabolic enzymes, our enzymes that support metabolism, and the enzymes that digest our food. It's really important to recognize, I think, that nothing, zippo, nada happens in biology without enzymes. Enzymes in this way are the carriers of the life force. That is so important. When we think about enzymes, probably not you guys because you've been listening to this program, but when the average person thinks about enzymes, if they think about them at all, they typically think of enzymes for digestion. But they're important for much more than just digestion. They are the essence of life. They carry the life force. Nothing, zippo, nada. Nothing happens in a plant. Nothing happens in an insect. Nothing happens in a fish. Nothing happens in a tree. Nothing happens in the soil. Nothing happens in the air. Nothing happens anywhere, including in the human body, without enzymes. Nothing happens without enzymes. Enzymes are the key to livingness. They're the key to life. And according to Dr. Edward Howell, who literally wrote the book on food enzymes, and if you're interested in the subject, I really encourage you to get the book Enzyme Nutrition, the Food Enzyme Concept. You can get it for like $2 off Amazon. It's been around for so long. So according to Dr. Howell, who wrote the book on food enzymes and was the originator of the food enzyme concept, human beings are guilty of being ignorant about enzymes, of being careless and negligent with their enzymes. This is what allows us to process our foods. By the way, the History Channel has got a great... I think it's the History Channel. If there's a show called, I think it's the History Channel. They've got a great show called The History of Food, which is basically the history of food processing. And they do little half-hour or hour episodes on guys like Herman Lay, who came up with Lay's potato chips, and the guy, I forgot his name, who came up with the Fritos, and the guy who started Burger King, and the guy who started McDonald's. It's really kind of interesting to see how ignorant we are in the food industry, how ignorant the food industry is about the power and importance of food. We glorify foods as an entrepreneurial venture. We glorify food processing, and we glorify delivery of foods, and we glorify foods as a business. But we don't glorify foods as a source of powerful nutrition, and this is what allows us to use processed foods that are enzyme-less. Yeah, they may throw in a little B vitamins and a little vitamin C and maybe some iron or folic acid, but these processed foods do not have enzymes in them, and this is a huge, huge problem. We're eating foods that cost us enzymes. We're subsisting largely, the standard American diet's about 80% processed food, we're subsisting largely on enzymeless food. Even if you go to a health food store, the vast majority of the foods in the health food store are enzymeless foods. And all illness, just like all life involves enzymes, all illness involves some aspect of enzyme dysfunction. All disease involves some kind of enzyme dysfunction. Yeah, we say on this program all disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is the end result of some kind of enzyme dysfunction. And nutrients, by the way, work by supporting enzymes. Many of them, probably all of them actually, on some level, are supporting enzymes because it's the enzymes that are doing the work. The aging process itself can be thought of as a deficiency in enzymes or in enzyme activity. Dr. Howell believed that enzymes are the most precious nutrient we possess, the most precious biochemical we possess. And if there's anything we can do to support or improve enzyme levels or enzyme efficiency, we should be doing it. There's lots of ways to do it. You can take in enzymes, and we should be taking in enzymes, but there's also coenzymes in the form of nutritional supplements, and there's also hydration and pH, which are involved in enzyme activity. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls here in just a sec. We'll be speaking to Dr. Jorge Osorio about his V-mask, a lactoferrin-coated mask, lactoferrin being a very powerful immune-activating biomolecule. It's actually antiviral, antimicrobial. You can get lactoferrin in health food stores, and you can use whey protein as a good source of lactoferrin. And Dr. Osorio has come up with a clever way of coating a face mask, which he calls the V-shield, with lactoferrin. We'll talk to Dr. Osorio at the bottom of the hour. We'll get your calls here in just a sec. So we all know that stress can be a problem. I hesitate to say that because stress is actually not a bad thing. It's the overstress. It's the stress that's out of balance with rest. Rest and stress are like a yin and a yang. Stress should lead to rest. Rest should lead to stress, just like yin leads to yang and yang leads to yin. They go back and forth, and it's this excess stress that really results in a lot of health issues, health challenges. Nonetheless, reducing stress for most people is probably a good thing, and this is from the really cool magazine, What Doctors Don't Tell You. If you're interested in a really cool layperson magazine that's got some great health articles in it, What Doctors Don't Tell You. This is Lynn Mctaggart's magazine. Lynn Mctaggart's got some really interesting books out, mostly about the field. In any case, her magazine, What Doctors Don't Tell You, has got really cool articles in it. This is one that I read this morning. I thought was interesting. What's the hobby that's most likely to reduce your stress levels? You think maybe it's yoga? No. You think it's Tai Chi? No. It's actually knitting. Yes, knitting. Knitting a sweater will reduce your heart rate by around 18%, which is one indicator of stress. And a session of knitting, according to the article, will reduce your average resting heart rate to around 65 beats per minute, which is pretty darn good. As the name suggests, your resting heart rate is the average number of times your heart beats each minute while you're standing still. The average can range from 60 to 100. Dropping it down to 65 is a pretty darn good thing, and apparently that's what a half hour of knitting will do for you. You can also other hobbies that are ranked by popularity that will lower your heart rate include yoga, gardening, baking, blogging. That's interesting. Running, fishing, pottery, and golf. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's hit the phones and say good morning to our friend Leo in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Leo. What's up?
Yeah, hi, Ben. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, what's going on?
I have two questions and an interesting concept possibly for the guest coming up at the end.
Okay.
The first question I have for you, if you would, two questions, is about the polypeptides, the gastric inhibitory polypeptides, the GIP. For what I've seen on a Google search, 50 to 60% of lean protein that gets converted into glucose in the body. Now, my question to you would be, this GIP they talk about that could be triggered from nuts and seeds, could that possibly be a reason why people are having problems with especially lean proteins with insulin resistance? Is that getting triggered?
That's an awesome point. Now, aside from the GIP, the idea that fats get turned into sugar is something that a lot of people miss. And there's a lot of folks who are going paleo, but they can't figure out why they're not losing weight or their blood sugar is not dropping. And that's because, as you say, much of the protein that we eat is converted into sugar. And then from that point, it's converted into fat. GIP is a polypeptide that's stimulated by fat, by the way. Also butyrate, which we've talked about, we're going to talk about some more, will stimulate GIP. And GIP has an appetite suppressant effect, and it also has a blood sugar stabilizing effect. It will improve insulin sensitivity and support the removal of glucose from the blood. And it's a very interesting polypeptide. I don't know necessarily that you can directly upregulate GIP, but you can that you can directly take GIP supplements or support GIP, but you can improve the body's secretion of GIP by going on a ketogenic diet. And in fact, that's one of the reasons the ketogenic diet is so effective for blood sugar control, is by stimulating GIP. The ketogenic diet, of course, being a high-fat, low-calorie diet. GIP is actually a class. There's a class of these polypeptides that have appetite suppressant effects, have building effects or anabolic effects, and have blood sugar stabilizing effects. So this is why the ketogenic diet is helpful. This is why butyrate is helpful. And I'll be talking tomorrow maybe the next day about using butyrate as a weight loss supplement. I've been seeing ads for butyrate for weight loss. And one of the reasons that butyrate is so effectively is because it upregulates GIP. I hope I answered your question there. Do you have something? You have anything else?
Yes, I'm interested in taking fat-soluble vitamins under the tongue sublingually. How do you feel about?
You won't get it absorbed. They won't get absorbed under the tongue. No, you need water because everything's watery in the mouth. You don't even have any fat enzymes really in the mouth, in saliva. So water-soluble vitamins may. I'm not sure you'll get really great absorption sublingually with water-soluble vitamins. Certainly not. It probably won't be better than drinking them because the intestine is exquisitely designed to absorb water-soluble vitamins. You probably won't get much absorption of fats or fat-soluble vitamins under the tongue.
Right. There's a woman on Coast to Coast. She's been on there a few times, Marjorie Wildcraft. She talks about spraying masks with three things, either the oil of oregano, tea tree oil, or clove oil. I'd love to know what the guest feels about spraying that, because in order to break up the surface tension of the virus, it's 20 nanometers, you would need something that's very astringent like that, and I would love to know what he feels about that.
I will ask that. What was the last one? Tea tree oil, oregano, what was the last one?
Clove oil.
Clove oil. Okay, great. Thanks so much for your call, Leo. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Let's go to Rob in Ontario. What's up, Rob? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ben. Few things here. First, I absolutely agree with the enzymes. I do a lot with plant work, and I can't even grow without enzymes and silica to protect against fungal and insect diseases and that. So I'm working on some great things behind the scenes. I have a question for you right now.
Thank you for that, Rob.
Pollen, yeah, you're welcome. Tree pollen season has just hit me real hard. It just smacked me this week. And what can we do about?
Well, lots you could do. First of all, as you brought the subject up, digestive enzymes can help you on an empty stomach. Digestive enzymes are powerful immune boosters, as we've been talking about. They improve metabolism, but they also improve immunity. Make sure you take them on an empty stomach. Vitamin C, like it's going out of style. Well, 10 grams a day, 5 grams a day, something like that. A lot of vitamin C. The one problem with vitamin C, if you take too much, you'll bloat or get gassy, or it may cause some digestive discomfort. So do it in small doses. Also, when you're taking vitamin C to support the immune system, it's probably a good idea to take them with bioflavonoids. Bioflavonoids and vitamin C work together. This is why foods are always better than supplements, because you get the cofactors. Nonetheless, you're not going to get a lot of vitamin C from foods. You have to eat a lot of oranges to get your vitamin C, or kiwi or papaya to get your vitamin C from foods. So supplement with vitamin C. Take your vitamin C, get your vitamin C from foods, and also make sure you're using bioflavonoids. Zinc is also very important for building the immune system. 50 milligrams of zinc, picolinate a day. Don't forget your selenium, and then also anything you could do to build or support glutathione, and that means the amino acids glutamine, glycine, and N-acetylcysteine, as well as the minerals selenium and sulfur. All right, Rob, thanks so much for everything you're doing. I really appreciate you, buddy, and thanks for your call, too. We've got Dr. Jorge Osorio coming up next. We're going to talk about lactoferrin and the V-Shield face mask. Back on the bright side, I am Pharmacist Ben, and thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 on the archive pages at benfuchsarchives.com. Thank you to Peter in the UK for setting that up, and brightsideben.com. We have search engines on both of our websites with our archives. If you miss a program or you want to review a subject, you can go to brightsideben.com or benfuchsarchives.com. You can also purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. We've got blog stories, blog posts, news stories, videos, lots of great health information at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products, all formulated by myself in my compounding pharmacy for healing wounds and helping folks deal with various skin health conditions like acne and psoriasis and eczema. What I discovered was there are topical strategies you can use to heal the skin, and of course, healing is beauty. Health is beauty, and healing is beauty, and that's what Truth Skin Health is all about. And that's why we have 1,600 plus 4- and 5-star reviews, which you can check out at truthreviewed.com, truthreviewed.com. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, water, vegetable oil, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our Truth Skin Health products. Check them all out at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so I am really looking forward to speaking to our guest today. We've been ripping on the silly mainstream strategies for dealing with a viral infection. Just today I was reading Germany suspends AstraZeneca vaccine. There's all kinds of blood clotting concerns with the vaccination, with the AstraZeneca vaccine. We have yet to see what kind of side effects we're going to be dealing with, and adverse reactions, long-term adverse reactions we're going to be dealing with vaccination. Sticking stuff into your blood is always a dangerous endeavor, and some would say a very stupid endeavor, including me. Masks, do they work? We had Judy Mikovits on the program, her book, The Case Against Masks. That is doubtful, but our guest has got an interesting strategy for boosting the potency and the protective powers of a mask. Dr. Jorge Osorio is a professor of veterinary medicine at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and he has come up with something he calls the V-Shield, which is a very interesting lactoferrin-coated mask, lactoferrin being a very powerful immune booster found in dairy products. Please welcome to the bright side, Dr. Jorge Osorio. Hello, Dr. Osorio. Dr. O, we'll say.
Good morning, Ben. Good morning to all your people and your team, and thank you for having me in your show.
Yes, thank you for coming. So we're all told we have to wear masks, and now we're told we have to wear 2 masks. And according to the CDC, we got to put nylon pantyhose on top of the 2 masks. But there's a lot of people doubt the effectiveness of masks in the first place, and then there's the whole idea of the downside of wearing masks. But you've come up with a very interesting strategy for making masks more potent. First of all, tell us a little bit about how you came up with this concept, and then let's talk a little bit about lactoferrin.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So just to clarify, I am a professor at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and there's a company called V-Shield, who actually were the ones that developed the mask. And what I did was the testing of the mask and the conditions that we have access to the virus under, what we call BSL-3 conditions. And those are conditions in which basically we can handle the virus, and not many labs can do that. So, but I can tell you about the material itself. So regular clothes, regular masks, they protect a little bit from the virus. But, normally the protection goes down is between 5 to 60%, because we don't have the capacity in a regular fabric to stop the virus. The concept here is to take a regular fabric material, is coated with lactoferrin, and lactoferrin is a biological product. So basically what it does is stops the virus in action. Basically, when in contact with the virus drops the titers significantly, and basically you are not exposed to COVID-19. And another nice concept that it was tested is that this mask can be washed multiple times and still maintain the same effect. So, the testing was up to 10 times, and they're still able to protect you against COVID-19.
How is lactoferrin not disturbed by washing, especially with detergent?
It is. Yeah, so it's actually a material that is coated into the fabric itself, and so it's not destroyed, and it's actually incorporated into the fabric itself, and it's not affected by the regular washing that we do or by detergent, because it doesn't have any effect on that. It's a very natural protein that is very stable and is able to stay there for all that time.
How is it possible that detergent would not wash out lactoferrin? That totally confuses me.
Well, because basically it's like you're washing, it is incorporated into the fabric material. So basically, like when you are doing regular washes, you wash what is outside of the fabric. If you have any soil or any dirt outside of the fabric that gets washed with regular soap. But here it's different, The lactoferrin itself is actually incorporated into the fabric material, and it stays there, so it's not left out.
Well, I hear you saying that. It just doesn't make. I can't see how that could happen. So let me ask you this: why did you choose, or why did they choose, if you know, why did they choose lactoferrin?
Well, lactoferrin by itself is a product that believes to have some properties against different pathogens. We also tested against influenza, and influenza works quite well. It's able to kill that. And it's actually lactoferrin is found in many milk formula in many babies. Okay, it's also able to, has been shown that it can inhibit the replication of many viruses. So it's by the nature of that particular product that is able to stop some of these viruses.
Are you do you consider yourself to be an expert on lactoferrin, or is your specialty masks? What is your specific? What is your specific specialty?
I'm a virologist. Okay? So basically, I work with pathogens under. I work with COVID-19. I work with influenza. So my training is a virologist.
Got it. So as a virologist, let me ask you a question about COVID-19. Is it true, in your opinion, or is it likely or possible, in your opinion, that this is an animal to human kind of virus? It came from the animal kingdom and came to humans?
Yes, it is very likely. We know that about 60% of the pathogens that affect humans come from animals, and that's what we call zoonotic pathogens. So it's very likely that that's what happened. And because we have live markets where we have close contact with wild species, so it's very likely that that's what happened.
You think it's the wet markets,
yeah.
the whole wet market thing. Okay, so as a virologist, we got to take a quick break. But when we come back, as a virologist, I want to talk to you about this idea of variants. And does it really make sense to try to protect humanity from viruses and viral mutations by using things like vaccinations and masks? Or does it make more sense to be supporting our immune system using things like nutritional supplementation, maybe even changing the way we eat and changing basically our lifestyle? We've got Dr. Jorge Osorio with us on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back with more of Dr. O on the bright side right after this. We are back on the bright side. We're talking to Dr. Jorge Osorio, professor of veterinary medicine at the University of Wisconsin in Madison and a virologist. Dr. Osorio, I want to cover this idea of the variants. But before we get to that, is there a downside to wearing masks as you see it?
No, I think, there are some cultures that have used masks for a long time. If you ever been in Asia, in Seoul or Bangkok or so, masks are commonly used because of air pollution and some other stuff. Obviously, the issue here, they prefer not to wear masks, but we don't have right now good protection against this pathogen, okay? And, whereas we don't have a full the entire population vaccinated. So I think we need protection, and masks can provide some protection.
How about on your mask? Are there processing chemicals or anything that's used in the manufacturing of the mask that people will be breathing in addition to the lactoferrin or whatever else you're actually intentionally adding?
No, there's not. It's basically only lactoferrin that's being used. And again, as I mentioned, it's a biological product that's basically found in this bovine protein that is found in many products that we consume. So it doesn't have any other effect.
So there's no processing chemicals that are used in manufacturing the fabric. I imagine the fabric's got to be highly processed in order to trap the lactoferrin, correct?
It is processed, but basically the only thing that is retained there is when you make a fabric and you put any logo or anything, basically that all those materials are not chemically into the fabric then. So it's the only thing that you use is to incorporate the lactoferrin.
I had a caller before you got on ask me about using essential oils, tea tree oil, clove oil, oil of oregano. Can you enhance the activity of the mask by perhaps adding essential oils?
Well, I don't know the answer to your question. Basically, if you can enhance a regular mask by putting some oils, I don't work with that, and so I won't have an answer to that.
Okay, gotcha. So let's talk about the variants. You're a virologist, and I imagine that you know that viruses mutate. Is there really any logical or practical way of protecting us from viral variants, or is this something that you just have to, every year you've got to get a booster vaccine for?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think viruses, by nature, they tend to change and mutate. And take the example of influenza. Influenza is a virus that basically every year we're used to having the annual shot of influenza because we have a mutation. So it's very likely that might be the same situation here, that we might have variants coming out of SARS-CoV-2 that change a little bit. Just remember that this is just a brand new virus that just came up. So it's going to mutate by its own nature. So we might likely need to have vaccinations and different forms of protection every year.
Isn't it true that as viruses mutate, they become weaker or less potent?
They can do either way. They can become weaker, or they can also become more pathogenic. So that could be different ways, and that's what we are seeing with this virus. Some of them, might be weaker and might not produce some severe disease, but some other ones, like the ones that we are seeing in some of these other countries, change sufficiently that they are not recognized by the vaccine. So that's what happens, and they get more lethal.
Are you concerned about variants? in this COVID variant of this COVID of this virus? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have to be concerned because the virus basically tends to mutate, and we have seen that some vaccines might lose with some time a little bit of their efficacy with time. So yes, it's a real concern.
Are you concerned that some states are dropping mask mandates, or do you think people should still be wearing masks?
Yes, I think it's very important for us to wear masks. Masks provides a way of protection because we have a lot of people that are asymptomatic that are spreading the virus, and masks are one of the best ways that we have right now to protect from disease spreading. So it's very important for us to continue wearing masks. I think that's the state shouldn't take that mandate down. I think we should keep the use of masks. What
about oxygen deprivation, or too much carbon dioxide?
Do you mean that we?
When you're wearing a mask, hypercapnia, too much carbon dioxide in the blood, or hypoxia, not enough oxygen. Do you worry about that at all?
I don't. Well, I mean, the masks provide enough. They have enough size into your pores that basically they don't have carbon oxygen deprivation that I have seen at all. Okay, I don't think I haven't seen that to be an issue. Masks have been worked for many years in many different societies, and we don't see that being an issue.
So we've never mandated an entire population or large parts of the population to wear masks.
It is true, but we don't have. It is a disease that we don't have protection for. We don't have a vaccine that works. Well, I mean, we're vaccinating people right now, but we don't have everyone vaccinated. Okay?
What about the immune system? Isn't our immune system exquisitely designed to handle viruses?
Our immune system is designed to handle new pathogens, but in some cases we don't. Yeah, like this is a new virus that our immune system has never seen before.
Right.
So in that case, we don't have the memory to fight that disease. That's the case.
But isn't it remarkable? Isn't it remarkable how relatively few people are symptomatic, or even less who are severely symptomatic for a novel virus? Isn't that a testimony to how powerful the immune system is, how intelligent, how responsive it is?
Well, I mean, when you look at the global number of cases,
percentage-wise, it's a sliver. It's like 0.01% of people who are significantly affected, something along those lines.
Well, but they're definitely spreading in a way that is causing more and more cases. So I feel actually, and there are communities where the level of infection and morbidity is high. Okay, so I think I see severe. There's plenty of cases, and you see how many hospitals, emergency rooms are full. So I think there's definitely an indication that this is really a major problem and a severe problem. Yeah.
Why don't animals get affected?
Well, everyone responds different to different pathogens. So there's cases in which animals can be just reservoirs, what we call reservoirs. So they might not cause the disease, but the virus just doesn't replicate in those animals because they don't have the receptor. The receptor is what's needed for the virus to go inside the cells.
The H2 receptor? You're talking about the H2 receptor?
Exactly. So the H2 receptor in humans is found in many different tissues, and that's why this virus actually produces very remarkable different types of infections and symptoms in humans. And some animals don't have that receptor, so the virus cannot replicate in those animals.
Many animals do, though. Dogs have it. Dogs have an H2 receptor. Primates have an H2 receptor, and they don't seem to be affected by the virus.
Yeah, but basically the viruses depend on a host, and there are some hosts that the virus just doesn't replicate. So even if they have that, so there's some natural resistance of some species to some of these pathogens. So we know that non-human primates they get sick. And there's some cases in non-human primates. We know mink die from this virus as well. So there's concerns in some other species.
Okay, so we only have about a minute left. Tell us where we can find the V-mask if people are interested.
Yeah, there's a website. There's called the V-Shield. You go to the V-Shield website, and basically you can find the mask right there that could be available for everyone to purchase. You can order that online. Okay? V-Shield website.
V-Shield. Is it vshield.com?
Yes.
vshield.com. And real quickly, is Viroferrin just Lactoferrin? Is that a brand name for Lactoferrin?
It's a brand name for it. It's a brand name
gotcha.
for Lactoferrin.
Okay, good. All right, Dr. Osario, thank you so much for being on the bright side. Dr. Jorge Osario, V-Shield. V-Shield, thank you so much for being on the show. The V-Shield is a lactoferrin-coated mask for you guys who are interested in wearing masks anyway. And the website is vshield.com. Thanks, Dr. Osario. Appreciate you being on the bright side, and that's all the time we have for today. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to you later, folks. Bye for now.